Welcome back, everybody, for another case study review. This case study is going to be about a non-performing asset where the borrower is about 18 months behind in Minnesota, and how did we create a win-win situation for this borrower. But first, here is our disclaimer. Please pause the screen and read this, and we will get rolling with this case study. The Minnesota case study. So this was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home in Minnesota that we paid approximately 60% of the unpaid balance on the loan. The borrower had a significant amount of equity in the property. As you can see, the payoff on the loan was roughly $20,000. They had a payment of $500 per month. The interest rate was at 8%, but the property value was about $100,000. So, the borrower definitely had plenty of equity. One of the things we look for in these assets is to protect our investment, of course, is at equity. So what's the backstory on this? The borrower, again, was 18 months behind. And the reason why was there was a death in the family. So there was a loss of income because of death of a spouse. And also the borrower, during this time, also lost their job. But they had since, got a job and started to make some payments back. But the fund we were buying this from was liquidating their entire portfolio. So they're selling off everything. So they weren't focused on trying to work with the borrowers. They were more focused on trying to get the assets off their book. And since the borrower was significantly behind, we were able to, again, buy it at the discount, even though the borrower had been, showing that they were making these payments. In this situation is a very common occurrence, which is the larger institutions, when they buy thousands of loans, these lower balance ones, they kind of push aside because it takes the same amount of time to manage $1 million loan as it does a $20,000 loan. And so with that, what did we do? With this loan, once we acquired it, we monitored the borrower and they kept making the payments. So it wasn't much to do. It was just the fact that the loan was just really far behind. And, the servicer was staying in contact with them, and the borrower was like, hey, I'm back on track. I can get put on ACH to make the payments and continue to make these payments. And so we monitored it for about 6 months. And then after 6 months, what we did is we modified the loan. And by modifying the loan, again, we reset the loan to bring the payments current. So the borrower's credit report was now showing they were current, which allowed them to build their credit and possibly refinance the loan because it was at 8%. And this was a time where rates were down to 3 or 4. So they could get a better interest rate, allowed them to also not get hit with late fees or other ancillary charges. So their full payment would go towards, again, the principal and interest on the loan. So we did modify the loan with the borrower. The borrower continued to make the payments. And this was a loan that, once they started making and we modified, we literally had to set it and forget it. And what I mean by that was the borrower was on ACH the first of the months. The payments just continued to roll in. And we held this loan in our portfolio for about 2 years. And after 2 years' time, we did liquidate this asset because we had another opportunity that we were looking at. But by doing this and holding it and then selling it, it did give us about an annual yield of over 25%. So this was a great loan for us, great win-win situation. And by resetting the loan for the borrower, it saved them hundreds of dollars a year in interest and late fees and penalties. So it was a win-win on their standpoint, and again, allowed them to build credit. So if later on down the line they were interested in refinance, they could. So this is another example of how we work with borrowers on a win-win situation to try and keep them in their homes. We could have on this loan gone through that legal process, but that would not have made sense in this situation because the borrower wanted to keep their home. They wanted to stay in their home. So let's work towards that win-win situation. So hope you enjoyed this case study. As always, if you have any questions or we could be further assistance, please reach out. You can hit us up at invest@70investments.com. You can call us at 805-410-8577. And Lauren, Katie, or Tony, part of our investor relations team, happy to chat with you. You can check out our website, 70investments.com, or watch more videos like this on YouTube at our handle is 70investments. So thank you and hope you have a wonderful day.